presentation on godliness and spirituality. Today we're going to look at the part 2 of our journeying with the Lord God. Journeying with the Lord God. If you want to journey with the Lord God, what are you supposed to do? Removing abominable things. If you want to journey with the Lord God, remove abominable things. Let's give an example of somebody who walked with the Lord. Who walked with the Lord. Genesis chapter 5, I read verse 21. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God. Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. Enoch walked with God. Verse 24. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Enoch walked so much with the Lord. He walked so much with the Lord that he pleased the Lord, that God said, no, this one will not pass through ordinary death. I have to take him, and God had to take him. So we're looking at journeying with the Lord, removing abominable things. Removing abominable. What are the abominable things you have to remove if you want to walk with the Lord? Deuteronomy chapter 22. I read verse 5, from verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord. Removing abominable things. Removing abominable things. If you want to walk with the Lord, remove abominable things. What is that? The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. The woman shall not wear that. All that you know they are woman's wears, the man should not put that. If you know the things that are man's wears, the woman should not put that. If you do that, that's abomination unto God. So remove abomination. Don't wear things that pertain unto a man. If a woman, do not wear that is pertaining, that is for a woman. If you're a woman, do not wear that is for a man. And if you're a man, do not wear that is for a woman. So, if you're a man and you are putting on earrings, that's an abomination unto the Lord. Nose ring, that's abomination unto the Lord. If you're a woman and you are putting on skirt meant for a woman, if you're a man, you are putting on skirt meant for a woman, that's abomination unto the Lord. If you're a woman, you are putting on trousers meant for men, that's an abomination unto the Lord. You're putting on all wears, all garments, all apparels that are meant for men, and a woman, that's an abomination unto the Lord. If you do that, the Lord will not be pleasing unto you. Say, if you want to walk with the Lord, remove that. Let's go to Peter. Let's go to Peter. Let's go to Peter. I read Peter, First Peter chapter 3. First Peter chapter 3. I read from verse 2. First Peter chapter 3. I read from verse 2. Why? They behold your chest. They want to behold your chest conversation. If you want to walk with God, people want to behold your chest conversation coupled with fear. How do you do it? Whose adorning, that is, whose your decoration. Let it not be the outward adorning of plaiting of hair. If you want to adorn your outward adorning, let it not be the outward adorning of plaiting of hair, of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparels. You should not do that. You should not be wearing gold. You should not be wearing chains. You should not be plaiting your hair like that. No, it should not be the case. Whose adorning, let it not be the outward. The outward is not even talking about, some people will say, no, when we do that, it's in the heart. No, it's the outward adorning of the plaiting of hair, or of the wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel. But let it be the hidden man of the heart. Let it be the hidden man of the heart, in the which is not corruption, even the ornament of meek and quiet spirit. That is that, which in the sight of God is a great prize. Meek and quiet spirit, in the great and quiet spirit. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in the Lord adorned themselves, being in subjection. They adorn themselves how? With meek and quiet spirit. With meek and quiet spirit. That's how the women of old adorn themselves. The women of old adorn themselves. Let's go to Romans. Let's go to Romans chapter 2. Let's go to Romans chapter 1. We read from verse 24. Chapter 1 from verse 24. Wherefore also God gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor. God gave them up because they could not, they were not. Let me say that. And change the, look at what these people are doing. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. How did they do? And change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image like unto the corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up, because they did that, God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own heart, to dishonor their own bodies and between themselves, who changed the truth of God into lie, and worshipped and served the creatures more than the Creator. I'm going to emphasize that how people worship and serve creatures more than the Creator, who is blessed forevermore. And even as they did not want to retain God in their heart, in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. And when God gave them over to a reprobate mind, what did they do? To do those things which are not inconvenient. What are those? Being filled with all unrighteousness. All unrighteousness, fornication. So if you want to walk with God, remove abominable thing. Fornication is an abominable thing. Wickedness is an abominable thing. Covetousness, that's an abominable thing. Maliciousness, that's an abominable thing. Full of envy, that's an abominable thing. Murder, that's an abominable thing. Debate, that's an abominable. Deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, those are abominable things. Boasters, abominable things. Inventors of evil things, disobedience to parents, those are abominable things. Without understanding, covenant breakers, those are abominable things. Without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful. Who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death. Not only they do them, but have pleasure in them that do that. If you encourage that by any way, if you encourage all these things that you are listening, apart from if you commit them, that's an abomination. But if you also encourage people to commit them, that's also an abomination unto God. That's an abomination unto God. You see these abominations, the Lord is saying, if you want to walk with God, if you want to journey with God like Enoch, remove abominable things. You see, we said those people, they worship creatures, they worship the creatures more than the Creator. How do they do that? By painting face. Origin of painting face is in 2 Kings chapter 9 verse 30. Jezebel. So if you are painting face, you are walking an abominable. You are abominable. You are an abomination to God. If you are painting your face, if you are painting your nail, if you are painting whatever, all kinds of painting, especially the face, you are Jezebel. You are walking after the spirit of Jezebel, which God abhorred, which God hated, which God hates. So painting of face, that's an abomination. If you want to walk with God, remove that abomination. If you want to walk with God, other abominable things, if fighting against God through your culture. Some people are holding onto their culture, and they hold onto their culture, they hold onto their festival, they hold onto their custom, they hold onto their traditions against God's law. That's what we are doing. Some men, especially those of some ethnic groups in Nigeria, they want to bow down, prostrate, lie down, lie flat, worship, like they say. No, it's a respect. No, you are not respecting them. You are bowing down to the elders as a form of respect. You are bowing down, and that is against God. You cannot bow down to the elders and say you are respecting them. That you are giving them worship. You are giving them worship which is due to God. That's an abomination unto God. So as many of you as are in ethnic groups where they are bowing down, and then you are bowing down as if that's an abomination unto God. Those who are practicing masquerades, that's an abomination unto God. Those are involved in New Year festivals and other cultural festivals, that's abomination unto God. Those that are involved in forced burial, they bury their father. After 1 year, they go there. They say, my father have been crying, my mother have been crying, my in-laws have been crying in the grave. I go to bury that again. My mother have been telling me, give me food, cook food for me. I want to eat. I've been hungry here in the land of the dead. Can you cook food for me? And you go do that. That's an abomination unto God. If you worship the dead, that's an abomination unto God. Second burial, you bury your father more first. They say do the second burial, do the third burial. Every year you are repeating the burial. That's an abomination unto God. You are doing memorial service, 10th memorial service, 11th memorial service, 20th memorial service, and so on and so forth. These are abominations unto God. Remove your hand from there if you want to walk with God. Joining with the Lord God. Part 2, removing abominable things. Removing abominable things. So you have to remove abominable things of culture. Don't hold on to your culture. Some they have what they call their offer. Remove your offer. You don't believe. If you do that, God will not be happy with you. If you do what they call the shrines and you go there, you worship. You say that is their tradition. We go there, worship the elder. That's the abomination unto God. If you worship ancestors, you say this is ancestral worship. We have to give respect to our elders, our ancestors, and you go and you worship the ancestors. You bow down and you go to a shrine and you kill goat, you kill rams, you kill whatever you are. You say in the name of serving God, in the name of calling on God through the ancestors. That's an abomination unto God. If you do that, if you wear masquerade, there are so many people across nations that wear masquerades in form of cultural festival. If you do that, you are abomination unto God. And so remove all those cultural festivals, remove all those cultural forms of respect, especially I have to mention, especially those of you in ethnic groups where you worship, where you bow down, where you prostrate before the elder. You say you are respecting them, you are serving. That's an idol worship. That's an abomination unto God. Come out of that. Those of you who are doing abominable things like man meeting man, man meeting man, woman meeting man, lesbianism, homosexuality. That's an abomination unto God. If you that, you are an eyesore before God. If you do nose painting, face painting, eye painting, lips painting, ear painting, whatever painting, you are Jezebel. You have the spirit of Jezebel. And if you have the spirit of Jezebel, you are an eyesore before God. Remove such abomination from you. If you want to journey with God, remove those abominations from you and God will receive you. So that is part 2, journeying with the Lord God. If you want to journey with the Lord God, we say remove abominable things. We have cataloged all those abominable things. You want to be like Enoch, walking with the Lord. And if you want to walk with the Lord, you know what the Lord will do? The Lord will honor you just like he did Enoch by taking you. Say, no, you have walked so pleasing unto me. I'm going to take you out of this world. And even when the Lord does not take you like that, you are going to receive a glorious end. And that is why we have to walk with the Lord, joining with the Lord God, but 2, removing abominable things. And the Lord will walk with you and you will walk with God and you'll be happy you did.